Hey guys, so today's Independence vlog is actually really interesting because I'm going to take you through the village of Moira, my village, the village where I grew up in, where my mum was. And let's start with the entrance. So you enter the village of Moira over this little bridge. Now Moira is full of rivers along, but what many people don't know is there is a secret path under the bridge that goes to the river. Let's take a look. This is the river that basically surrounds Moira, meanders around it and sometimes goes through it. But this was the place that during Ganesh, a lot of the idols would be immersed over here. Sometimes the fishermen take their boats and go upriver and they fish. Now what I've noticed over here, and I don't know why, but you have a lot of religious symbolism that's just thrown over here. So you've got some Ganesh, you've got some Sai Baba, but I don't know why you would litter the place with this. You know, religion is meant, at least in India, it's all about worshipping nature, not destroying it. So that's something that perhaps we need to work on. But if you look over there, it's really, really beautiful. There was no house over there. I'm not too fond of that kind of style in architecture. Goa should be colonial or modern tropical, not, but you know. Anyway, so this is a beautiful river and it goes all the way to Nashnola and Aldona. So you cross the Moira bridge and then you have this little temple over here. Now there used to be a tiny little cross and a tiny little deul, as you call it. Now it's just grown bigger
Best
and bigger.
wishes for a safe and happy journey.
Hey, that's my friend Rajesh. I want to go say hi to him. Rajesh has a corner store right opposite the corner as you enter Moira. And if you want to have a chai or you want to have a cold drink or anything, then meet Rajesh. Rajesh is from Sataporyo.
Yes, Bamode.
Bamode, Sataporyo, now it changed Zata. Okay, so come, let's take a look. Rajesh, amka kide piyoita? Coke, huh? Where? You'll have a Coke? No Coke? Okay. No Coke for you? Okay, only one.
Only one?
Yeah.
Enough here?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So cheers to Rajesh. You got to come here. Rajesh, anga kire mein hota?
Honeybee, McDowell, Roy Steak, IB bitarle.
Okay. Honeybee, so whiskey.
Brandy.
Brandy. Okay, great. So if you want a nice brandy, you know, in the monsoon, then come to Rajesh's place. You have some lovely little chuda and grams. Have your Coke. Buy some chips. It's great fun. Rajesh, ye kide hai? So basically they used to weigh the rice and the sugar and all of that. So that's why they have weights. Earlier they used to sell it loose. So you could order like 500 grams, 1 kilo. It's really nice. So as you turn, you see this beautiful house that's on the river. It's actually on the bank of the river. And this house used to belong to a lady called Barbara Troutwine. Now it's bought by someone else, I don't know. He comes to the cafe sometimes. But Barbara Troutwine was a German-British lady, and she sold this home and then probably changed hands a couple of times. And she gifted my mother some really interesting paintings. And you can see one of those paintings, which is leopards that are all together in the Moira coffee house. Okay, so you've crossed the bridge and entered Moira, and you've seen those little cross and temple there. You've seen Rajesh's little bar there. You take a left through this narrow little lane and you follow the lane. It snakes left, right, up, down, whatever. And right at the end is the Moira coffee house. So now I'm at the Moira bus stop. It's actually quite a landmark because you also have the Moira Club just there. You look at that. We'll show it to you in detail, but that's the Moira Club. That's where we all grew up. The entire village would come and play games for Christmas together. Each vado would have different kind of dodgeball or quiz, and it was really a community bonding exercise. But coming back to the point, so you cross the bridge and enter Moira. You take a left and you go into the Vado of Atafonde or the cafe. If you don't take a left, you keep coming along the road and then you hit, this is the main junction of Moira, the Moira Club. Let me just show you. If you keep going that way down there, you head to Aldona. If you go that way over there, you get to the Moira Club. And if you go this way, then you enter once again another part of the village, which we're going to take you right now. Okay, so before we enter the village, I want to show you this Moira Sataporio chapel, and it's so beautiful. Now, I grew up coming here every Sunday. I had to wake up at 6 o'clock and come to Mass at 7 o'clock, and that was non-negotiable with my mother. So, incredible architecture. So you enter into the main hall, then you've got a section on top for the choir. My mum used to direct the choir, the orchestra. And right at the back you've got the priest residence, which is actually quite nice. And over here sometimes you had open air masses where during the feast people would gather. And then right there you have the football field. So one thing that's really nice about, I'd say, Christianity is that they include sports as part of tradition, religion, and it sort of brings the community together, and they value that openness, that greenery, that space. So huge games would be played inter-village right here, and that over there is the Moira Club, where we would also hang out sometimes during the monsoons. So, you know, there's a lot of interesting people who've built beautiful homes in Moira, and many of them are my friends, and during this entire tour I'm going to actually show you some of the homes. And if you'd like to buy any of these homes, then reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to connect you to the developers. There's no brokerage charge, so you don't have to worry. If you see something you like, just send me a message and I'll make that happen for you. I want good people to come to Moira, because in my mind, according to me, I think that it's people that are going to save Goa, and it's people who have the bandwidth to buy homes and to keep Moira green, to invest in our future, to make sure that trees are planted, to make sure that everything stays as beautiful as it is. Now, a friend of mine has built a home right beside this beautiful chapel, the football field, and the Moira Club there, and I want to show you this house. So it's a large, modern, tropical home. As you can see, it's got huge floor to ceiling glass, and you've got a car park, you've got a swimming pool. It's in such a lovely area, and you know, I get a lot of heat from a few people, and they say, you know, Rishad, you're selling real estate, you're selling Goa, and my opinion on this is very, very simple. There's no way you can stop development, because development is linked to a growing population. So as the population increases, development is going to increase. What you can do is structure it. So Goa has two ways to go. The first way is you develop blitzkrieg and make it a city. High rises, small apartments, lots of footprint, garbage, chaos, like the way Pune went. The other way is to go the luxury way, and you have 1,000 square meters, you build out 600, and 400 is green and garden. Now, I can't afford many of the houses that I sell or even I develop myself, right? 15, 20, 30, 50, 100 crore homes. I don't come from a lineage of great wealth, but I have at least the intelligence to understand that I would rather see 10 beautiful homes with big gardens than to see 100 apartments. So you pass the Moira Sataporio chapel on your left and you come down the slope. Now here you have a few homes. Back when I grew up it was green, but my friend Sairaj lives over there and his brother makes amazing Ganesha idols. Then I've got some other friends here. My friend Prasad lives, and Madhu. Then my brother Advocate Chandru Kerkar, that's his house. If you have any Moira based transactions and deals, then Chandru is the guy. Here, right here is Jason and Inez and Flory. They used to have a bar over here, but I don't know, they stopped the bar. But his dad was a great cook. He used to be a chef on the boat, on the cruise liner. Okay, I'm going to show you my ancestral house. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is my ancestral house, the cruise villa. It's 1300 square meters. I remember everything. I sold it, but yeah, each of these pillars is very different. See, each one has a different design to it. And this is something that I discovered actually when I was selling the house. Really nice. So you see, cruise is still there and built in 1937, Villa Cruise. And you can take a peek into it. Let's see if the camera can zoom in. That's the house. But of course, when we were living here, it was much cleaner, much greener. We had big mango trees. So that's my house at the start of the road, or rather my ancestral house. Then Rajesh's house. Then you have this property which is vacant. Then you've got the inner temple, which is a really nice space to rent out. Then you have my friend Savio who lives here. I don't know if he's here. Savio! Savio is a chef. He caters. Really nice guy. I don't know who lives here. Here you have the Balajis who live. Nice family. My mom used to teach them the piano. By the way, this ward is called Bambordem, and Bambordem is derived from the word bamboo. So it was a huge bamboo plantation. So we decided to do a pit stop at the Story, which is an ITC run hotel in Moira. It's a boutique hotel. So guys, when I'm so bullish about Moira National Aldona, you'll probably understand why. Because one is I'm invested in it emotionally because I grew up here, my friends are here. Two, because it's so beautiful. People say when they want to buy a property in Goa, they're like, oh, how far is it from the beach? And for me, that's really not a metric to gauge how wonderful a property is. Because you just look at how beautiful this place is. It's clean, it's green, you've got the rivers, you've got great architecture. Victoria, have some special Indian bread. Try it, it's very tasty. It's Indian hot biscuit. Who's-
like chips chicken.
Yeah, Indian
Chips,
like chips.
like a little bit spicy. Or like chips what lay long time. That interesting.
Hey guys, so we're done with our lunch and it was a great lunch. It was actually white snapper. And before we get back on the final leg of our adventure, I just want to showcase this beautiful pool, lawns, field, and river. So stunning. So, as you exit out of the story, and it's just such a beautiful exit. Thank you. If you take a right, you enter what you call Chari Wado. Chari is basically the tradesmen, most of whom were carpenters. So it's a lot of carpenters that live here. And I'm going to show you a very special place that's changed a lot. Some of it not for the good, but it still has a little bit of beauty. So let's take a look. So this is a very special place for me. I used to come here when I was a little depressed, or sometimes when I was really happy and I wanted to do some fishing. As kids, we used to stand over there and we used to tie little atta on those hooks and we used to throw them in, and we used to catch fish that were that size, not eat them. It was purely for sport. This is such a special place. It also is very symbolic because the villagers of Ukasai would come here by foot, and sometimes the villagers of Moira would cross by foot and go to the church over there. Now I'll show you this. What I really like about Goa is, whether you're Hindu or Catholic, there is that sort of bond and connection. And this cross, even the Hindu fishermen come and put garlands on. The villagers also celebrate the feast of this cross, and they come and they put, doesn't matter what religion you are, but they come and they venerate this. And this is a little space for the candles. But that particular hut is very interesting because that's where the fishermen keep their bait, keep their hooks, keep all of that. And these sluice gates, as you can see down, let me just show them. These are the sluice gates. If you notice, the level of the water here is lower than the level of the water there. Basically, this controls the flow, the ebb and the flow of the water, which is fantastic. That is Ukasai and this is Moira. So we are standing at the border of Ukasai and Moira. So as you come out of the sluice gates, you take a right, and then you see what used to be complete fields. And this is something that saddens me a little bit because, on one hand you have the so-called activists who are complaining about construction and whatever. And if they're really concerned about keeping Goa clean and green, then they should also be concerned about the illegal constructions that are happening by poor people. Okay, somehow poor people are exempt from all these activists because poor people can't pay the activists, right? So if you're poor, then it's okay for you to break the law, to build houses in fields, to challenge CRZ regulation and build in front of the water. That nobody is focusing on. And the real threat, according to me, is these kind of hutments and chawls that are coming up, these little extensions, these little rooms that are being added to existing structures, and then some toilet being built somewhere in the field. That is a problem. The guys who are buying land, doing things legitimately, building beautiful homes, planting large gardens, I think it's a sort of like a Robin Hood approach, where people are focusing these rich Delhiites or rich Bombay or rich people, while there's so much of illegalities happening under our very nose, but nobody seems to be shining a spotlight on that. So these are one of the most beautiful villas in a gated community in Moira. They call the Neil Villas. Stunning 3 villas. One is about 700 square meters and the other 2 are 500 each. Really, really beautiful. Once again, if you want to see these villas, I'm going to post some pictures and some videos online. Have a look at them. No brokerage. Just reach out to me. I'll arrange a site visit and we'll make this deal happen for you. Okay, so I've shown you quite a few. Now you've got this standalone villa, which is really, really cool. And this was designed by the same architect who designed Ajay Jadeja's villa for me. So basically I had a home, I built it, designed by Greg, and then I sold it to Ajay Jadeja, and then Greg went on to develop this. I hear that if someone's interested, he might consider selling. So if you're looking for a standalone home, then this one in Moira would be really nice. I'm actually going to show you, how many of you know the Bennett and Bernard homes? Because these are the Bennett and Bernard homes. Casa del Senor. I have a plot actually in the vicinity. So if you're looking at buying a plot and building your own house, small plot, I might be able to hook you up. Again, no brokerage. And I've got to show you a Villa More, which is another cafe over here. They do good cappuccinos and stuff, so it's a vibe. But we've eaten too much, so we don't want to go down that road anymore. Now another friend of mine has built these really interesting villas, and they're vertically designed villas with views of the countryside, the river and the Moira church. So if you're interested in this villa, it's ready to move into, and reach out and we can make it happen for you. So this is the Moira church, and the entire Moirekars, villagers, all came and prayed. Many of us were baptized. My entire family was buried over here. We've got a niche there. Now there's an interesting story about the Moira church, and you can actually research this yourself. So the story goes something like this. Back during the Portuguese era, there was 2 brothers who were caught by the Portuguese government, and they were diamond smugglers. Hi, come here. Hi. They were diamond smugglers, and in order to basically get their freedom, what they did was they offered the Jesuits money to build a church, and the Jesuits said, well, we're going to give you certain locations and you choose. And they ended up choosing this location. They ended up choosing this location, and they built this fabulous church. It is really, really stunning. So let's take a look at the front facade and see. Come on guys, let's go. Come on. So this is where the parish priest gave his sermons when they had outdoor masses. And that's the beautiful, iconic Moira church. In our Catholic tradition, what we do is we first bury, after a person is dead, we bury the body, and 3 years later we exhume the bones, right? And we take those bones, and every village has something called a niche, and those bones are kept in that niche till they disintegrate. And generations upon generations upon generations, their bones are kept there. And I think I've got about 4 or 5 generations, my mom, my grandmom, my grandaunt, my great, everyone's over there. And I think maybe someday when I pass, my name will also be there. So that's Filomena de Cruz, that's my mother, that's her mother, that's the aunt, and then you have a whole list of people that were there even before. So that's kind of the Roman Catholic tradition in Goa. But that's also a nice way, because what happens sometimes when it comes to title searches, the church maintains a birth, marriage and a death record. So in case there's somebody missing in a family tree, it's always good to come to the church, and if you know someone, you'll get that history. So sometimes they say survived by 3 children, and in the papers it's only shown as 2 children or 1 son. So this way you can really ascertain the exact antecedents of the inventory of a title in Goan real estate. Real estate around a church or a chapel always commands higher value. Now, possibly the reason behind that is because of so much of greenery. Also, the churches are very aesthetically beautifully built, pure, white, straight lines. And the church had a lot of land around it always. So it's always nice to live around green areas. So maybe that's the reason why. But wherever you look across Goa, if there's a church, the grounds around it are maintained really well, and therefore real estate around the church commands a premium across Goa. So this is the Lourdes Chapel, and you're probably wondering, like, Rishad is showing us all the chapels, but those are really landmarks because they're so beautiful and the architecture is just amazing and inspirational. So it's nice. So the Lourdes, and also you can ask someone, oh, where's the Lourdes Chapel, where's the Sataporio Chapel, where's the Pirazona Chapel? Those are landmarks. Anyway, near the Lourdes Chapel, you go down this little road over there. It's raining, so Victoria is doing the best she can as a camera woman. But my friends have built this really lovely enclave of very pretty villas that I want to show you. It's like a process of discovery. You'd never imagine that, like, in some lane, suddenly, just show them, Victoria, suddenly you'll find beautiful villas. So just look at the interiors, so nice. Yeah. And then the road opens up. Now this is a nice example of what I mean by good conscious development. Okay, so here you've got the Akron guys who built Eugenia Evergreens. And see how well designed it is, how large the roads are. This is what I like. And this is what I want to see the future of development. You build consciously, you put some villas, you add a lot of greenery, widen the roads, improve the infrastructure, keep the trees. See this tree in the middle of the road? It's kept. It's maintained. They've not chopped the tree down. And over here, right field facing, you've got some really pretty villas. These are really cute villas. They're built in a colonial style, and they've got the field right in front. Once again, built by some friends of mine, and incorporating Lot of greenery, huge wide internal roads. It's a commune of cottages. Each has a private swimming pool and natural stone flooring. Really, really pretty. Good design aesthetics. I don't know if it's open. Being Independence Day, I think it's shut. But nice garden space. And you've got, I think, a few look at this. We've got a few different configurations of the villas. So let's see if we can. So you want to show them the outside. So again, if you like something that you've seen in the videos, reach out, and there's no brokerage. Just I want good people to come into Moira because we need a friendly bunch and we need to expand our family. Now y'all have seen most of Moira, and I was actually, I couldn't stop. This could have gone on for like a long time. Final segment of the video, and you got to end your trip with a nice hot coffee at the Moira Coffee House, which is a real vibe. It's a small place, but it's a place full of love and lots of exciting, interesting people. And it's a place that I actually end up calling home.